Learn more, do more, live more.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the JARETT LOPEZ show. Thanks for tuning in. Very excited to announce my very first guest, my Don, my man, Asad Ali.
Hey guys.
So Asad, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, I work for the AMS of UBC, which is basically the student society at the University of British Columbia. What do I do? It's a great question. I do so many things. Sometimes I just kind of lose track. But in short, I produce 2 music festivals and I bring a lot of money to the AMS.
I was running on an empty heart, not a trace of gasoline. Trying to dim every single spark that could hurt, that could burn all of me.
That's pretty much what I do. And well, something I love the most is marketing. Everything I do is based on marketing, and honestly, without marketing, I don't know where the fuck I would be.
So how did you get into marketing, and how did you end up running 2 music festivals in Vancouver?
Honestly, funny story. So I came to UBC in 2012 from Pakistan, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I'd done a few events back home when I was like a teenager, and I was like, you know what, I want to get more involved. So one day I was just chilling, and I was like, I saw this job posting, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna apply. So it was this group called AMS Events. I applied 3 times. I got rejected 3 times.
Damn.
Until I was like, hey man, can I just join as a volunteer? Like, I just want to work and learn.
Yeah, you
They
just
were
had to
like-
get your foot in the door.
Exactly, right? So they were just
Yeah.
like, sure, come on board. And honestly, best decision ever. My whole university experience was just with AMS Events. And I slowly grew up the ranks. You know, I started out as a volunteer, got a paid job, student staff, worked part-time, became a coordinator, became an assistant manager, and eventually by 2016, they were like, hey, you want to do this full-time? And I was
Awesome.
just graduating. I was like, 100%. And I'll be very honest, the first time I did a music festival, I had no idea what I was doing. Winged it, and it was great, and they kept me on. Got to 6 shows later.
Yeah.
Still here.
And so how have things changed from the first festival where you had no idea what you're doing to 6 festivals later? Now you got Block Party coming up April 4th. April 8th, April 8th.
We actually have the reputation. Actually, we're known as the biggest music festival hosted by a university in Western Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so just for the people, how many people attend each of the festivals? What time of year are they?
So one happens in September. It's called Welcome by Barbecue. And then we have one in April, which is called Block Party, which is the biggest one. So we go around between 6,000 to 7,500 people. And the goal is to keep making it bigger. Well, my 5-year plan is to make at least 10,000 people. But you know, when you do a 10,000 person show, you need to spend more money.
Right.
And it's a different ball game. But you know, I'm okay. I'll build it slowly.
And so just going back to that first year, what's one thing you wish you knew then that you know now?
Honestly, bring relevant acts. That's the most important thing I've learned. Like, to sell any show, you need to give the people what they want.
Right.
It has to be relevant. It has to make sense. It has to be good music.
Right. So I don't know if you remember exactly, but who was the lineup that first year and what year was it?
Well, 2016, actually 2017 was the first lineup I bought in. 2016 was, we had Autograph, Earl Sweatshirt,
Okay.
and I can't remember the last one. But 2017, we brought in Adventure Club, Keys and Crates, Roy Woods, and
Fire.
Akali.
Fire.
Right?
Yeah.
So it just switched, like we switched everything over, and we were like, wow, that's crazy. So I love it. Again, it's all about bringing what was relevant. And we honestly, like, the way I pitched it was like, we need more money to bring bigger artists. But, everyone's dream is to bring Drake, but
Yeah.
well,
Well,
give me $3 million, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, talk a little bit about that because you find that there's a new festival that pops up every single year, it seems.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that goes bankrupt every year. So, what do you think most new festival producers do wrong? And the ones that have been around for a while that end up going bankrupt, what do you think, from the outside perspective, what do you think they messed up on?
Honestly, when the new festivals come in, it's all about what talent you bring, right? The number of festivals popping up in Vancouver, British Columbia, crazy. So many new festivals come up. It's all about the money you spend. The reason they go bankrupt is because they spend way too much on talent and don't sell enough tickets. And then when it comes to logistics, if your logistics aren't there, your show won't run properly. And you're going to take massive hits, like massive hits. You know, it's so interesting for me. The most important thing is the way you buy an artist.
Right.
There's no such value of an artist that you can know. I can get an artist for 10 grand. I can get that same artist for 20 grand. It really depends on the moment and the time. You know, you have a ballpark, but it's the way you negotiate and the way you have the right partnerships to actually get that artist.
Right.
Right? Like, so for example, one festival can buy artist X for like $50,000, but we buy him for 25. Right? An agent's job is to get the most money possible. And when these new festivals come up, they don't have the experience of talent buying, and they just go like, whoops, this is a good act, I'll just buy him. And they spend all their money on it, and they just focus on the lineup, and they forget about everything else.
Right.
To do a good show, there has to be marketing, there has to be a team, there has to be, you know, and you have to create the excitement. If there's nothing, you know, there's no wow factor to it, it's a normal festival. Now the big ones going bankrupt, well, so many things, right? Like, the most important thing is, have they been taking a hit for a very long time?
Right, which
Right?
you usually can't tell.
You can't tell. Like, the way we work, so we're a non-profit organization, so our goal is to break even on shows. Right? We're not motivated by profit. That's why our prices are so low. And it's amazing.
For example, for the people, how much usually is the ticket?
Our first year starts at $15, right? And again, we're here to focus on students mostly, so our tickets go for $15 to $45 for students. But when we open up tickets for the public, you know, they go for $60. Again, that's like the first year for any festival, you know, other festival that happens. We're super cheap. We bring a relevant lineup, keep tickets cheap, and it's a good time. You know, we try to keep it basic, nothing too extra, but we keep it to the point. You come, you eat, you drink, you party. It's a win-win. For
And how long is the festival?
Honestly, it goes for about 5 to 7 hours, depending how many acts we have and how we plan the day. People obviously come late, so they just want to see the acts. It's so basic, and they know what they want to do, and honestly, it's a tradition now. Block parties, 13 years old now. Yeah, and I've been doing, it's my third block party that I'm organizing.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. The first one I went to was last year. You had Tyga.
Yeah.
Who else did you have?
Cash,
Slander.
Felix Cartel.
Yeah, and Felix Cartel, who's an OG here from Toronto, or from Vancouver, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a great show. And that was my first event of yours that I went to, and just sold me. Well, it was also like the biggest and best student-produced festival I'd ever been to.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what happens on the next one.
I mean, it's amazing because, you know, I produce the festival, but it's my team that are students that run different components of the show. And it's so amazing to see, like, these third and fourth years going out of their way, making sure each component, like they're running the gate, they're running ticket service, they're running the liquor area, so they know what they're doing, and it's amazing. You know, I mean, I'm just the brains behind it, but they're the ones who execute the event for me. So it's amazing the way they do it.
Yeah, and it's really important when you're building any event. You need to have a solid team.
Yeah, man.
You need to have a solid team because there's so many things that go wrong, and then on the day of, you're just putting out fires.
Exactly, man.
All the things that come up.
And honestly, it's all about trusting your team, and I give my team that autonomy to run the shows, and I give them the information, I give them the training. But yeah, I love it. Like our motto is like by the students, for the students.
Right.
So it's beautiful, man.
All right, so let's just talk a bit about festivals. Mm-hmm. Which music festivals worldwide are on your bucket list, and why? Let's just give me top 3.
Honestly, Tomorrowland, number one, 100%. I definitely want to do a Coachella.
Yeah.
Just for the experience, but not the music. right? And then there's this music festival in Germany,
Okay.
all deep house music. I forgot the name, but that's something on deep house and techno.
Nice.
That's a vibe I want to check. Have you heard of Circle before? Circle does these live shows, mostly deep house and techno, in like these beautiful places.
No.
Check it out.
This is it's a festival, or
they just started their own festival as well, but they
Okay.
just bring these artists and they're just performing in like just these beautiful like places. Circle, it's CERCLE. Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check them out. And what's the best festival you've ever been to, and why?
Man, that's a really tough question. I think one of the best festivals I've been to, EZU, New York.
Okay.
One of my favorites. The experience was mind-numbing. Plus, one, it's New York. Second, it's the artists they brought were so relevant. I mean, I wanted to go to every single stage.
Who played?
Man, it was so many people. It was at least 80 artists.
Okay.
At one point, I remember it was Martin Garrix, Marshmello. We had, oh my God, I can't even remember. Tiesto was there. It was crazy. Like, I love EZU. I've been to EZU twice. And honestly, I never.
Oh,
get this
EZU.
one.
You mean Electric Zoo?
Electric Zoo.
Electric
yeah.
Zoo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, why have I not heard of this festival
EZU,
before?
Yeah, Electric Zoo, man.
There's something that I talk to a lot of artists around the city often, and something I want to get your perspective on. There's a lot of hip hop heads who have never been to an EDM music festival.
Yeah.
How would you describe it to a hip hop head, or sell the experience of it to them? Because it's really something, especially if it's a good festival.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the best way to pitch a music festival is, again, like, you pitch it as an experience,
Right.
right? Don't worry about the music. The beauty of EDM music is you don't have to know the music. Your body just vibes to it,
True.
right? And I think that's the best way you pitch to someone who really loves hip-hop. Like, you need to try something different. Because with a hip-hop act, hip-hop acts go for 30 to 60 minutes. And you only mostly go to the shows if you know their songs.
True.
Right? And to know it, like, hip-hop sells through the name, but EDM sells through the music. You can vibe to any EDM act as long as, the music is good, relevant, again, you have a good vibe with it. So I think that's the way you would sell it out. Like, what's wrong with just trying something different?
Yeah, for sure. And like, especially like these days, like most of the sets that I've been hearing, a lot of the EDM acts do remixes of hip hop songs because they're the biggest. It's the biggest music in the world right now. So yeah, I'm excited to see more collaborations like that, and seeing some of these hip hop heads out at some of the EDM festivals.
Yeah, and it happens, I mean, the way we do our festivals, we try to make sure we get a mix of EDM and hip hop.
Right.
It's a win-win for everyone. I mean, that's what Faded in the Park does. Again, a festival that's in Vancouver. I love it. Beautiful. But if you ask me about my favorite festival in Canada,
All right, tell us.
Shawn Blough.
It's gotta be Shawn Blough. Gotta be Shawn Blough.
You can never beat Shawn Blough. Shawn Blough it's an outer body experience.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, you go to Shawn Blough and you come out a different person. And you're more mellow, you're happy, it's an experience, you haven't showered for 5 days. But I think Shawn Blough is one of the most beautiful festivals I've been to,
When did you first go? Have you been more than once?
Yeah, I've been twice.
Okay.
And I went 2016 and 2017.
All right.
Crazy. Oh my God. Just only good memories at Shawn Blough. I can never say anything bad about Shawn Blough. It's amazing.
Yeah, I went for the first time this past year, and it was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, what was the biggest festival I'd been to prior? Faded. Yeah, I had went to Faded like weeks before, and that was really big, but that one isn't an overnight festival.
Yeah.
Shawn Blough is like 4 days and 6 stages, and the stages go from 6 a.m. to noon to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m. And it is just like, there's nothing like it. There's art everywhere. Everyone is dressed up. Everyone's happy. Everyone's dancing. And it started to rain, and people just got crazier, like climbing trees, like while Diplo was playing. Like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you get the mainstream acts to come. They don't play their
regular sets.
Like,
Yeah.
when Diplo comes, Diplo's always doing a deep house set.
Yeah.
And honestly, what a great DJ.
Yeah.
My God, he's amazing. Like when I think of Diplo's mainstream song, then I do Diplo's like sets. He recently performed at Fortune
Okay.
after Contact.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that one. Yeah, he was super cool too. And
Yeah.
the closest I've ever been to meeting Diplo was at Shawn Blough. He
No
was
way.
like a
Okay,
couple
yeah,
feet
sick.
away.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I loved about Shawn Blough, at least from like a media perspective. They're really inclusive between the artists and the media and the staff. So it's like its own little bubble at Shawn Blough. So you can, bump shoulders and meet these artists and their booking agents, as long as you're there in a staff and a professional capacity. It's super cool. All right, on to a fun question.
Yeah.
If I gave you $1 million to build your dream lineup, obviously dream lineup would be more than $1 million, but let's say just for Block Party,
Yeah.
I gave you $1 million compared to your regular budget.
Wow.
Who would you book and
Man,
why?
that's an amazing question. Like,
Yeah, I'll give you a second.
oh man, I don't already know the answer. Like,
All right, let's hear it.
Well, so the way I'd break it off is I do at least 10 acts, right? 2 stages, 10 acts, and obviously you have to spend the most on your headliner. I'd probably get someone like Tyga or Flume, or
Okay.
even Odessa to headline. Why? Because that music is for everyone. Even if
Right.
you don't listen to Flume or Odessa, you've heard the name. Music's super relevant. They've been there for a long time, and even if it's someone who's into hip hop, or if it's someone who's into like deep house or techno, or just into more mainstream pop, you put Flume, Tyga, or Odessa, everyone's gonna love it.
Okay, that's number one.
Number one. So then I'd go down. Then I'd do 2 hip hop acts.
Right.
Honestly, right now for me, I want to bring the baby.
Yeah.
Hottest act.
He's
hip-hop
popping.
act right
He's
now.
popping
Like,
off.
Why not? Then I do Roddy Ricch, The Box, again, another popular song everyone wants. Again, you'd spend about, I'd say about $500,000 on Flume.
Yeah.
Oh, let's say $350, and then the other 2 you get for 2 and 2.
Cool.
$200,000 each because they become big. Let's assume $200 for the baby, $100 for Roddy. That's $300. You're at $650. I'm left with $350. Now, $350. You can build the lineup any way you want. Then I'd bring a couple of local artists. Bring Akali back.
Cool.
Felix Cartel. Do some your casual EDM hitters like Party Favor, What's So Not, Bauer. Just the music people like. And then obviously have a few hip hop acts where people are gonna just be like, wow, just give everyone an experience. It's gonna be crazy. Like $1 million, you can book so many acts. But again, the most important thing has to be relevant.
True.
Right? If you're looking $1 million, I can easily do like a 10,000 person show, 15,000 even if you push it, right? But $1 million, you can go a big way. Like if I would estimate, Breakout probably spends $1 million on their lineup. Maybe less, right? Faded probably goes 1.52, but like $1 million is so good for a lineup. Your question is, can you make the money back? Because that's how everyone goes. Like at the end of the day, are these festivals sustainable?
Yeah.
Right? But definitely, I do a mix of artists. So I'd bring something mainstream, bring some hip hop, definitely experiment with some music as well. Make it like a mini Pemberton or a mini Faded.
Cool.
But like definitely be a great experience for everyone. All-time favorite artist, oh man, like someone I really, really want to bring, but Faded already did it.
Yeah.
Jeezy.
Yeah.
My God, what
I'm gonna be
a vibe.
away for Jeezy. I'm not gonna see him.
What a buy, honestly. So relevant. So relevant. He
Yeah.
hasn't been to Vancouver in forever.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, I've only been in the city for like
Yeah.
a year and a half, but I've like typed in G-Eazy Vancouver and haven't seen any like old flyers.
Yeah, I mean, when we bought Tyga, last time Tyga came to Vancouver was about 6 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, it was 2012 when he came last. Even our current lineup where we have Black Bear and All Grime, they haven't played Vancouver in almost a year.
Okay.
And right, like when Black Bear came last time, he did 2,500 tickets at Queen Elizabeth. So Relevance there, and Earl Grime closed the second stage for Faded.
Right. Yeah.
And it was crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. So they're big names, right? We big names, relevant names. The students want them. I wish I had more money.
Of course.
If I had $500,000, dude, I'd bring the baby and Roddy Ricch. Like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
But you know, money always constricts you where you can buy and what you can buy.
So on this talent buying thread here, year over year, the price of booking talent fluctuates. What do you think attributes to an artist booking price going up or down, besides just like, you know, them blowing up on Billboard?
Exactly.
What other things should you be aware of if you're booking talent?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll give you a great example. After, I think it was the Grammys, Lizzo became $500,000 just because she won an award.
Right.
Your price booms up. When it was interesting, I'll tell you something very interesting. I was booking Khalid about 2.5 years ago, when he just came out with Location.
Right.
$25,000. Easy. Within a night, his value tripled, and he was on tour because they knew he was going to blow up.
Damn.
And
And that was his agency?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the right agency. When they release their music, when the album comes out, how good the album's like blowing and how big it's just like building up. Like that's how the price increases. Like Roddy Ricch was probably about $50,000. 3 weeks after the box, he's asking for $200,000 because it's such a relevant song.
Yeah.
People love it.
Yeah, it's still number one. It's been number one for, I think,
Yeah.
like 8 weeks now.
Right.
And definitely the shout out from Justin Bieber didn't help, or
Yeah.
didn't hurt.
And like same for Sheck West. When Sheck West came out with Mobamba, $20,000.
Yeah.
Boom, went up to 60.
Damn.
Right, and then he stuck at that price for a while because the price never really goes down. It either keeps going up or stays the same.
Okay, it doesn't go down. How long do you think that like relevance, like the relevance score kind of goes down? Like if the artist is inactive for a year.
Yeah. Well, if
You
they
think
haven't played a show in a while, again, it's how you negotiate with the agent. It's, you know, at the end of the day, you don't even contact the artist. You're just in touch with the agent. And the agent is the one who's like, nah, he'll do the show for this much, he'll do the show for this much. I mean, the way all these big agencies work is they're always giving everyone shows. Hence, the price stays the same, right? You never really go down. If there's an artist who takes a break, if he was popular before he left, like he'd stay the same. But I've never seen an artist go down in value.
Interesting.
Like, ever since I've been doing shows, I haven't really seen anyone ever. Yeah. Nah. It's unheard of.
Okay. So without disclosing how much they cost,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw some artist names at you, and you tell me whether you think they're overpriced or
Yeah.
underpriced this year.
Absolutely.
Roddy Ricch.
Over.
Over?
So over, man.
Yeah. Why do you think so?
Dude, right after the box, he tripled in his value. Doesn't make sense. You have to see what music. I mean,
he needs more longevity.
Yeah, I mean, he does come. His agent is the same agent that manages Marshmello.
Okay.
So
That's surprising.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
So that's how he's blowing up. He has a good agent, and look how Marshmello's career went up.
Yeah.
Expect the same thing from Roddy Ricch. Good act though, really good act, but I think it's way overpriced.
All right. What about Playboy Cardi?
He's good. He's at a good price. Like he hasn't gone up or gone down. He's been the same price since. Relevant name. I don't think he's released new music.
I can't think of a song.
Yeah,
I can't think of a song off the top of my head.
but definitely relevant. I think he's at a good price. Definitely a good price. I mean, Breakout brought him. Breakout brings one of the best
Right.
hip hop acts for sure. I mean, so does Blueprint.
Yeah.
But Breakout, they both get such good relevant acts.
Yeah, they're definitely good
Oh,
with that.
100%.
They're very
Yeah.
in tune with the culture. All right, Jaden Smith.
Good price.
Good price.
100%. I mean, we were looking at Jaden for a Block Party, and I wish I had more money. I would have booked him for sure. But he's a good price. Like, he's the right value, and with the music he brings out, good. Again, hasn't released new music, so isn't as relevant.
Yeah.
But very relevant to the UBC crowd
Right.
that we look
Culturally
for.
relevant.
Culturally relevant. He's a Smith, so, goes really well. So it's a good price, 100%.
And he was in someone's music video
He's
recently.
also touring with Justin Bieber.
Is he?
I think so.
Opening on part of the new tour.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm getting affirmation. Okay, what about the baby?
Way overpriced, man. He's great,
Yeah.
but the money he's been asking, man, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I'd pay him the same as I'd pay maybe Jaden Smith. He's a good act. Like, he's relevant. He engages with his audience. He's a good entertainer. But the money he's been asking for, man, I don't know. I wouldn't pay it.
What about, you booked him earlier this year, or last year, ASAP Ferg.
One of my favorite artists to work with, all right? He is so nice, so humble, perfect price. Like, honestly, from all the artists you've said so far, I would bring him back.
Yeah.
Because he is so relevant. He released his new album.
Yeah.
It was absolute fire. I met him. We hung out for a bit as well. He was so nice. Like, what I love about artists is he actually did his research. He knew what UBC was. Like, he knew about the event as well, and he actually made the extra effort to engage the student community, which I love.
Yeah, that's great. Especially when, one day they just wake up to a text, you're going to play a show in Vancouver, and they haven't even been to Vancouver before, so it's nice for them to do their research. Yeah, that's cool. Who's another artist like that you would love to bring back that
with the great lad Troy Boy.
Troy Boy?
Such a humble
Love Troy
guy,
Boy.
right?
Yeah.
Like, Troy Boy is, good vibes, really nice guy. Again, he stayed for the whole show when we brought him in 2018. He stayed, he enjoyed, he watched everyone play, he hung out with the crowd, and he didn't give us any trouble. Like, the best artists are the artists who don't give you any trouble, who come in, they're super nice, they're always engaging, they communicate. They're not like, please don't talk to me, I'm too cool for you. Like, these artists like ASAP Ferg, Troy Boy, so humble, so genuine, and you're like, I will bring you as many times as I possibly can.
All right, great. Let's do a couple more.
Yeah.
Ski Mask.
Overpriced.
Yeah.
So overpriced. Again, Ski Mask, saw him at Breakout. I've made a few offers before, and man, the price is just, God, it's not worth it. Not worth it.
I missed out on seeing him last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
I would love to see him next time. He puts on a good show.
He puts on a great show. All the artists you've mentioned really go out of their way. They're great performers. Like, they know what they're doing. A price, again, it's really, it's
within reason.
Yeah. Everyone has their style, right? And agents just want money.
Of course. All right, what about Tory Lanez?
Perfectly priced.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tory Lanez is another artist I've been wanting to bring for a while. Soon, maybe Welcome My Barbecue 2020.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, let's just do a couple DJs here.
Yeah.
What about Rez?
Rez is a great artist. Honestly, I've seen Rez when she started, and I remember when I was looking at booking Rez was like, I was like, wow, is that her price really? And then I've seen her really shoot up. She started off as someone who would play the smallest stage,
Right.
play an early set, to now becoming a headliner.
And Canadian.
And Canadian,
Yeah.
and her price varies a lot, but when she performs, she has a cult, and it's amazing.
Yeah, she has a really strong following.
Yeah, it's a great following. They're very loyal. In terms of a price, really mixed. We could never bring her to our shows, but if we have the right conversations, 100%. I think she's priced right. Definitely brings out the crowd, and I've never seen anyone who says, "Oh, I'm not going to a Rez show." Everyone wants to go to Rez. Great performer. Super nice as well. I met her once. She was
Cool.
nice. It was cool.
Yeah, I saw her. I think I've seen her twice. I saw her at Shawn Blough, and then I feel like she was at another festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's great. Who else? What about another Vancouver artist, Akali?
Oh, man. I've seen... Okay, so very interesting. Akali performed at UBC 5 years ago for free.
Wow.
For a non-profit that we had at UBC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? And from there to see Akali now, man, he's just been blowing up as well. Great DJ. He really loves what he does. Like, I've seen... Akali's actually performed our shows at least 4 times.
Wow.
You know, every time we do one of the music festivals, he'd just show up, meet our, you know, DJs, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you guys want to do a back-to-back set?" And then he'd just go up and
That's
perform.
super cool.
Like, he's so nice, and, you know, we just shoot him a message like, "Hey, man, you want to come down, hang out?" And we won't even tell him to go perform. He'd, you know, make the effort himself. Just be like, "Oh, yeah, why not?"
Have you seen any difference generally between booking artists from the U.S. versus Canada, or is it just person to person?
It goes person to person, man. Like, it's all about the agencies, right? There are about 4 to 5 big agencies that have all the artists.
Right.
And you're just going back and forth on everything. For me, whenever it comes to talent buying, it's working with the right people. And it's having the right connections because, like I said, I once pitched to an artist and he was like $50,000. Went through a contact, I was like, oh, $30,000.
Right.
So, right, so it really varies. You can't really, unless you're known in the industry, you're going to get ripped off.
And that's pretty much the same with any industry.
Any industry, yeah.
A referral makes a big difference.
Big difference.
All right, let's talk about Vancouver for a minute here.
Absolutely.
Baby No Money. He's arguably the biggest artist come out of Vancouver, at least in recent memory. Who do you think is next up, and what do you think of Baby No Money playing a show in Vancouver?
Man, I love Baby No Money, honestly. He's really fun.
Yeah.
The music is so, it's relevant, again, right? It all comes back to how relevant you are. It was interesting, someone was telling me they went to school with Baby No Money.
Cool.
UBC student, and they're like, man, I can't imagine how this happened, what happened, and how he blew up. And he just performed Little Fest as well.
Right, yeah, we saw him there.
Honestly, Vancouver has good music. Vancouver has great artists. I mean, for me, like, someone I see who's going to blow up even more is going to be Felix Cartel. Like, he's been in the industry for a while. He knows what he's doing. He's coming up with great music. You know, he did the song with Lights. He's done the song with Cascade. And I only see new music coming out. And, you know, he, again, such good energy.
Yeah.
Like, and he also started his own vodka soda company.
Yeah, shout out Wise.
And, you know, it's the way I see it is like, he's going to keep getting bigger. And, you know, he's also a UBC graduate, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah, so I definitely see Felix Cartel becoming bigger.
Anyone else?
Hip hop. I mean, Manila Grey.
Yeah, Manila Grey.
Those guys, they're actually performing at Block Party as well.
Nice.
Those guys are absolute fire.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I mean, they basically sold out all their shows they've done. They just went on tour.
Right.
They sold out 90% of their shows. I mean, I'm going to say they sold out all their shows. And it's been so amazing. They live in Richmond. And honestly, their music is just what the city needs. And, you know, there's great music. I mean, if anyone ever wants to reach out, I'm always open to listening to new music. I mean, we brought in Boslin to do our September show. Great kid, good energy, great music.
Yeah, he's really killing it right now.
Yeah, he's killing it. Like, I love it. You know, that's what I love about Vancouver. We have so much music. Someone I really want to see is Easy Mac. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of Easy Mac. I know a couple people that know him.
Such a good flow. I was listening to his music recently. I was like, damn, that's fire.
Yeah, I saw a video. One of my buddies, DM9, he shot a video for his last show with I can't remember. But he did a show pretty recently, and it looked lit. I'm excited just to see new music and different
100%.
vibes, because like Easy Mac's completely different vibe from Baby No Money and Manila Grey.
And Manila Grey, exactly.
And Boslin.
So
like there's so much creativity coming out of the city, music-wise and otherwise.
Yeah. Vancouver is amazing, honestly. Like, there's literally music for everyone.
I got a good question for you. What, as someone who puts on events in Vancouver, what do you say to people who say that Vancouver isn't a good spot to have a music career or doesn't have good shows?
I think Vancouver is an amazing place to start your career and meet the right people. Like, we have Live Nation here, we have Blueprint here, we have Timber Concerts, we have C1. Like, we have the right group of people who push your career out, and the shows and the clubs Vancouver is an untapped like market, and 100% like look at the artists that are coming out right now. They're big, they're blowing up. Like Akali just recently moved to LA, just went on tour, crazy tour, massive. Like he was selling out show after show. He came to Vancouver, that show sold out so quick.
Yeah, the Commodore.
Right at the Commodore, and it just shows like I think Vancouver is one of the best places to do it. It's just, I like to say hustle it out. You always have to hustle, and it's gonna happen. Like even Rez performed Vancouver at least 4 times before she like even blew up. Because I saw Rez, I can't, in a year and a half I saw Rez 4 times. She was killing it. She did Faded, then she did Blueprint's Birthday. She came back. She did her own tour as well. It's crazy. Like Rez's music is, it's a different like feel. I don't even know what you call Rez's music. It's its own genre in itself, right? Like, I think Vancouver's a great place. Like Vancouver has what every other city has. It's just smaller, but we have it.
Yeah, like all the best concerts I've been here. And I mean, I'm definitely biased because I'm an event photographer, so I just go to a lot of shows, but like my top 5 have all been here. Like Post Malone was really good.
Yeah, was
Obviously, Shawn Blough was amazing. Faded was amazing. Who else had a really good live show? I saw Flatbush Zombies and Joey Badass.
Nice.
And they had this huge inflatable Statue of Liberty thing that they had on stage. Wow. And then Juice and Michi were like hanging from the ceiling and like throwing money in the air. Like it was crazy. Like so good. And I love that in this city we have so many different kinds of venues. The Peony alone has like 4 or 5.
Yeah, venues. Yeah.
And then we have a bunch downtown. Like it's wild. And then the Peony Amphitheater. I saw Billie Eilish there.
Oh, sick.
She was so good. I love the festivals. I love the summer shows. Especially as a photographer too. Just you get better photos during the daytime. But it's a different vibe from the nightclub.
Yeah. I mean, one show I'm super excited for, May 31st, Tool is coming to Vancouver.
Tool?
Yeah.
Like metal band.
Yeah, I grew up listening to Tool. And honestly, like, I grew up playing the bass. So for me, like, the complexity of the music is what I really like. And when it comes to Tool's music, it's like, each song is like 7 to 8 minutes long. It's what I like the most. And each riff, each bar is so different. I love it. Like, I'm so excited to go to that show, actually. Yeah, one of my that's the most. Yeah, I'm excited for that show the most. I've never seen Tool. It's a dream.
Cool. All right, let's just get some tips out here for some up and coming artists. What can up and coming artists and their managers do to get booked for bigger shows and festivals?
Honestly, go up more. Reach out to people wherever you can. I mean, I think a DM goes a long way. Just reach out to some photographers, reach out to some friends. It's nothing's wrong with like, hey man, could you introduce me to someone that you work with, you shoot so many shows, can you just, send a message, like why not? Like, I'm someone, I like seeing new music. I'll even go out and just see what's happening. I'll go to their studio, I'll hear some music. Like I'll always listen to the music because I want to see what Vancouver has to offer, because why not? I mean, we're doing our after party at UBC for Block Party, and we got Ram Riddles.
Right.
And our second act, his name's Tion Gibbs.
Yeah,
great
love
act,
Tion.
Right?
Yeah, he's great.
Great music, Vancouver local. And I was like, why not? And the way I got in touch with Tion was a buddy said, hey man, you want to check out his music? I was like, 100%. And then I heard a few songs, and I was like, yo, how's your day going? Like, if you have a vibe, like, let's see. I'm like, hey, I think you'd be a great fit for the show. Come on board. And that's how he got booked. And honestly, it's really important. Always go to events. Always meet people. Don't start out by going to the biggest groups or the biggest managers. Start slow. Like, it's going to come if you hustle it through. You just need to meet the right people at the right time. And never give up, man. Like, honestly, that's the best way to go. I remember when Boslin moved from Victoria, he was sleeping on his manager's couch.
Right.
Right? Like, that's a hustle right there, man. And, like, look where they are now.
Yeah, they're in LA right now.
Yeah, right. So it's big, and respect. And I think Boslin even got signed up with an agency.
Yeah, a booking agency.
Yeah, in the UK, I think.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's pretty good, man. Like, They're all blowing up.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Yeah, another tip. How can up and coming artists increase their booking fee per show?
It really depends. I mean, they'll initially get booking at a much lower rate, or even
course.
free, because they're getting the exposure. Do a couple of shows, build it up slowly. You can't be like, okay, I'll take 500 now, but you pay me 10,000 later. You have to go very slow. So you go, 500, then 1,000, then 15, then 2,000. You need to keep building it up. I would recommend the best thing to do is do a show with a group of artists and make it an experience.
Right.
Right? Do a collective and just build it. Be like, okay, we're throwing a show. See if you can sell the show out, which is important. Right? Like if you bring on like 4 artists, put on a show at a club, for example. You build it and you keep going and you see who brings the most people, who has the most fun, and how can you create that vibe. I think going out to people and just being, hey man, can you book me for the show doesn't work.
Right.
Do a couple of events, make that investment, and then the bookings will come. Right? And then at the same time, of course, continue talking, meet the right people. And artists should just focus on their music. It's the manager's job to keep pushing and reaching out to people.
True.
Another thing that I really liked, the way I got in touch with Boston was a lot of UBC fraternities have events. Obviously, they throw their parties. And what they do is they book these artists. Good way for exposure. Student crowd is very important. And I remember they brought in Boston from Victoria. And great performance, and everyone was reaching out to me like, hey man, this kid would be really cool. And I was like, I have to meet him.
Yeah.
Why not? And honestly, I was very impressed. Great music, great vibe, good energy. And then they created their own collective, and Buck's managing them. So
yeah.
It's pretty amazing, honestly. So I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, it's really been exciting to network and navigate the music scene here. Working with Chaos Club, working with Seeking Blue on the EDM side. There's so much great music here. Asad, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, sharing some knowledge and some stories. Is there anything that you wanted to share with our audience and impart before we
honestly, number
wrap
one
it up?
thing for me is never give up the hustle, right? Like, man, I remember at one point I was cleaning bathrooms, right? Like, for me to see where I was 5 years ago to now, I'm like, I never gave up. And honestly, I think anyone who's into music or likes doing events, never give up the hustle, man.
All right, thanks so much. Until next time, guys.
Yeah.